These are the majority of books that I personally own. And in this video, I'm gonna try to rationalize if this is just some expensive hobby or if I'm actually getting anything useful out of any of this. Something I've always done since I was a little kid was read books. I remember I would get like hyper competitive in my grade school when we had that AR system, and then you could go on the computers and take the tests and you would get points from that. And then like once a semester, they would let you go to like a little store and you could get like candy or pencils or something out of that. And I would just clean house. Like I'd always try to be like #1. Most AR points. For a big bit of my junior high, I did not have any kind of internet or anything like that. So I would just have my mom take me to the library and I would just burn through books, especially during the summer when I did not leave my house or hang out with anyone. There were some times where I was going a book a day. Like it was getting slightly ridiculous. It was like a little race with myself. As I got older though, I moved away from like the dystopian sci-fi books where a teen who's all misunderstood but actually super powerful defeats the government or something, and then moved into more of like the philosophy, psychology, and where the two overlap. That's not to say I don't enjoy a good fiction book every now and then. It's just that my overbearing superego will always guilt me into not reading a fiction book because my conscience is telling me if I'm reading just a fiction book, it's pretty much the same as watching a Netflix show and it won't let me enjoy it in peace. We can talk about my overbearing superego in a later video. At risk of sounding holier than thou, don't mean books like this. And when I say psychology, I don't mean books like this. I mean stuff like this, and this. But what am I supposed to do with any of that? Like how is that useful information to me? Like how am I supposed to use a book that makes me question the validity of my own interpretations of reality based on the constraints of natural selection and then use it to go to Walmart and not feel like everyone there is my enemy? Or how am I supposed to take a book that talks about the downfall of modernist thinking and how it led to World War II and then use it to cope with traffic or my apartment Wi-Fi being slow or not connecting to my TV or something like that? There was a researcher that did a lot of work on free will, and when asked about this, he had a pretty interesting way of coping with it. He said he would be deep in thought, questioning the future and history of all of humanity under the guise of not having any free will, and then question his own life about how he's never made an actual decision his entire life because of this. And then his wife would tell him that she needed help making dinner and it would just kind of snap him out of it. Now that might be useful in coping with certain aspects of opening a third eye, if you want to call it that. But I think the reverse honestly works too. If I'm being tailgated by some 17-year-old in a Ford F-350 that his daddy bought for him all by himself, I can just remember that he is a slave to power structures and ideals of masculinity that me and my base model 2017 Honda Civic do not have to follow. Or if I'm at Walmart and the people around me make me fear for the future of our country and the human race at large, I can just remember that all morality is arbitrary and nothing really matters at the end. So if they want to put gum in the urinal, who am I to stop? You probably shouldn't put gum in the urinal.